Hello, everybody. Welcome into the first playoff edition of the 110 Football Pre-Game Tailgate. I am Connor Kalopsis. With me is the Max Bretos.
Connor, we rehearsed this a little bit ago, and you sounded nervous. You don't sound nervous now.
I don't know what you're talking
like you put
about.
it behind it, and you are just pushing forward full throttle.
JR, the Scarf himself.
What's good, everybody?
And the one, the only Vince La Rosa.
I'm not going to lie. I'm totally nervous. I'm a wreck. I'm a wreck.
Yes.
It's El Tráfico, playoff edition, the sequel.
It sure is. And we want to thank Leonardo. Leonardo, we saw you patiently waiting in the chat room. And we encourage all of you guys to go into the chat room and talk to us. Let us know how nervous you are, how confident you are. It's a give and take here. So we'll do most of the talking, but we'll listen to what you have to say.
It's a safe space in there. I like to think you guys can let us know your
Definitely
your
a safe
deepest
space.
and
For the
darkest
most part.
thoughts. Maybe not that far.
Stu over there.
Troublemakers in the concourse here.
But
Pepsi
it is
Plaza.
a very, very exciting game. Two players are very excited about this game. Carlos Vela and Kellen Acosta. They did a little bit of a press conference with some cool sound bites that we're going to take a listen to. So, Carlos, to you.
Every game in playoff is the most important, because if you don't win that game, you don't have another one. So it doesn't matter against who you play. Every single game in playoff is the most important for our club, for our players. And we are preparing for that, because it's not about we play against Galaxy. We play a playoff game, and if we want to win the championship, we have to win 3 games. It's not, oh, maybe we can draw this and we win the other 2. No, it's now you have to win every single game like we left, and that's in our heads, and it's how we are working, not about who is next, or maybe the next game will be more easy. It's not. It's just this one. We focus on these 90 minutes. I hope we can finish in 90 minutes. And be ourselves, be ready, be in a good way, with good attitude, bring everything we have, and if we do that, for sure we will have chances to win.
The game is going to be chippy. It's a rivalry. It's a game with a lot at stake, and I mean, there's going to be some plays where aren't going to go our way. It's about managing our attitude, managing kind of everything. I think Steve really highlights is the next play. Sometimes that play doesn't go our way, but it's how we grow from that, how we build from that. I mean, there's gonna be obstacles, but we have to adapt and conquer. And I think just the resilience of the group. I think we've been punching the teeth a lot of times this year, but I think we've done a great job just bouncing back. And Thursday is gonna be a roller coaster. I mean, hopefully have more positives than lows, but that's what the game brings. But we have to just be ready for it mentally and physically.
So, we know how the players feel. I want to know how you guys feel, because LAFC has not lost to the Galaxy at home in 2 years. I'm always nervous coming into these games, especially one of this intensity in the playoffs, win or go home. But that stat speaks for itself. Is that comforting at all to you guys?
No, I mean, two things. Carlos Vela, every time he's spoken since they won the Supporter Shield, he's just sound like a captain. And I know a lot of people ask Carlos Vela, just give me something more, give me something more. If you listen to that, that's a captain.
Yeah.
He's saying all the right things. I think Kellen Acosta is saying all the right things. And then to your point about having not lost to the Galaxy, I think a lot of us are feeling nervous, myself included, because we've been hearing all this week about, wow, this is a completely new Galaxy team. They got Ricky Puig, they got Brugman, they're doing great things. They've only lost 1 game in their last 12. But I really looked at it. They won 5, they drew 5. They tied. They lost 1, and they haven't really been blowing teams out.
It's a good record, but still, maybe it's been oversold a bit.
Their goal differential is 8.
Right.
They have 1 clean sheet, which was the playoff game. Their XG is not that great. Yes, I think they've upgraded their personnel, but they're still playing the same way. And Steve Chernow said as much. They play the way that we expect them to play. So I think yes, they're a better team, and you should be weary because this is a one-off. But maybe I shouldn't be as nervous as I am.
I will say, though, they've beat us twice without Ricky Puig.
Yeah.
That was in their place.
I think Giorgio Chiellini will have a lot to say about that on the back line. We're looking at a team at LAFC that's built more from the back line forward, and that's incredible to say with guys like Carlos Vela and Chicho Arango and Danny Bouanga and Christian Teo. If we're built from the back line out, that must tell you the talent that we have on our back line. And that's been an Achilles heel, even though they have Martin Caceres now on the back line for Carson. That's been their Achilles heel because they're not blowing these teams out, and only 1 clean sheet in those 12.
Well, I will say for Alfred in the chat, he doesn't want us to jinx it. I think it's safe to say that these games are always out of this world. Like you can't really.
And
We're
listen,
due for a
listen, Alfred,
non-out
we
of
have
this
to do a
world one.
pregame, so we're going to have to jinx it a
but
little.
we will have to talk about.
We do
both
want to mention
teams
Obed.
in
He's
one
trying to
manner.
get to his seat. So don't look at the phone following our YouTube here. Just make sure you get it in one
Just
piece.
the audio's good. If you have it on Bluetooth.
I want to say we were at training this week. I was there Tuesday. The guys were very dialed in. It was tense when you walked in there. They had the media, closed practice. They went about their business. I love what you pointed about Carlos Vela. It may sound a bit cliche saying, hey, you got to win this game. It's 90 minutes. But he wouldn't have said that before. And it just goes to show that we are dialed into this. We know how important this is. I've been here from the beginning. I know what's at stake. Get on my shoulders. I'll take you there. But I also like Kellen. Kellen, when things were tense, was very relaxed. Hopefully it's not a roller coaster ride like he says. But he's been there. It's such an exciting opportunity for so many folks.
Yeah.
And your final thought about how different the Galaxy are. And people are always trying to match up LAFC. Hey, Austin beat LAFC. Maybe it's a changing of the guard. Hey, Philadelphia passed them for the Supporters Shield. They're the best team in MLS. Oh, the Galaxy now. Enough. We got to look at it from an LAFC prism. And that's why I think they're in good shape. I hope.
Look,
You're so wise. Max.
at the end of the day, over the course of 34 matches, that's why this game is being played at Bank of California Stadium and not 11, 12, 13, however many miles it is down the road, down in Carson. We've earned the Supporters Shield and we've earned the right for MLS Cup to go right through Bank of California Stadium. And the team needs to understand that it took 34 games, not 1 or 2 good ones and 1 or 2 bad ones, 34 games for us to get to where we are right now.
Well, and I think people will listen to Kellen Acosta's words and actually be buoyed by them. They'll actually take some energy from them because I think the biggest thing that the Galaxy have done against LAFC is they have come and punched them right in the nose from the get-go. So for Kellen Acosta to just acknowledge that and say, this is probably going to happen, we're ready for it. I think for a lot of fans, that's going to be comforting.
He'd be a good psychiatrist. He listens very well.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, speaking of the microphone, if you could.
You think so?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay.
It's our first playoff show.
I know. First
And by the way,
playoff
it's
show,
been a
always
very
crazy.
chalky tournament. Philadelphia, we hear now, are leading FC Cincinnati. It doesn't mean anything for LAFC. But the folks in Vegas, the folks who watch a lot of games, are inclined to say that it's going to be maybe 3 teams that could lift the MLS Cup. And LAFC is one of them. So we shall see. What is that? Is that a gnat?
I don't know.
Everyone
Is
wants
that a
to-
good sign?
everyone
That
wants
sounds like
to
a
be
black
here.
cat.
Everyone
Good luck.
wants to be here.
Here at FanFest, which started at 3:30, it's always a good time. There's always a lot of games, so I like games. I'm a big fan of games. I
Love
like
it.
playing games. We play a game here
Games.
on 110 Football called LAFC Players
Games
to
people play.
Watch. Basically, how this works is we ask you guys, not only in the chat, but on our social media, to pick one player from each team who will be your player to watch. And how do we pick the winner? It's based on the MLS Fantasy scoring system. And if you score the highest in this game, you will win.
Look at that.
The Giorgio Chiellini signed
Giorgio.
ball. I mean, that's like,
Can
That
I
would
just
go
tell
for
you
a
guys,
lot on
we were
eBay.
there. I was there when we were doing that, clearly, because we did have to podcast with Max. We asked him like a million things, like, could you do this? Could you do this? Could you do this? And he was walking off. We're like, wait, could you just take a picture real quick? And he gives us that. Like, so
Big smile.
smiley, not concerned at
And
all. I mean,
The only part that's disappointing
can
is
I get that picture?
you and I
If
can't win.
Can I get that?
Right?
Yeah, we can't win.
We can't win. I would keep that ball forever.
so you guys not only have to be the best in players to watch, you also have to beat us. So you can't really pick the same players we pick or you won't win. So let's listen in first to Vince La Rosa.
Which is why I picked the best players. If you guys were listening to LAFC 360 this week, you would know probably who my LAFC player is going to be. It's going to be, I'm going to call him this from now on, Big Game Bouanga. It's going to be Denny Bouanga. I said on LAFC 360 that he played in 8 matches against the top 4 from France last season and scored 4 times in those 8 matches, including a goal each against PSG. So you got to count on that guy to come big when it really matters. So Denny Bouanga is my pick. And then he's the talk of the town, Ricky Puig. Everything's gonna go through him, and so the way this works with that MLS scoring system, if you're on the ball, you're probably gonna score points. And I feel like if the Galaxy are gonna get any kind of points that are gonna go towards fantasy, Ricky Puig is gonna be the one to take them there. So that's where I went.
I'll ask you this, Vince. How many goals has Ricky Puig scored against PSG?
0.
And how many has Bouanga?
2.
Yeah, but
2
Puig
last
has got
season.
15
for
against
himself.
Elche.
Right.
Stats speak for himself.
I have the same too. And you hit it on the nail, Vince. It's just about volume of touches. Oh, I'm sorry. I
don't
didn't have the same.
too.
I'm looking at yours. I'm not having the same. I have Samuel Grandsir. So it still applies for Denny Bouanga because he's going to be so
Another
active.
French player, at least.
He is another French player, yes, Samuel Grandsir. But Denis Bouanga, I was looking at your stats. He's going to be all over this play, and he is going to be key. He's going to get touches. I think he's good for a goal. The numbers suggest he should probably have more than one goal this season. This would be a good spot. He is keyed into getting his first trophy because he's played for Saint Etienne, which it's not really trophy town. So Denis Bouanga, I think, is going to be all over this. Now, I think it flips for LA Galaxy because Ricky Puig is, to me, I think you're right. He's going to be active. But I think there's going to be a lot of defenders keying in on him. Ilie Sanchez hopefully has him in his pocket. That's going to be the path to Chicharito. I think the center backs are going to try their best to keep Chicharito. Enters Samuel Grandsir, played every game, plays at least 70 minutes in every game. 3 goals, 6 assists, had a 2-goal game against Vancouver. But that scares me a little bit that he could be on an island. I think he's going to be involved because he's such a durable guy as well for the Galaxy.
You don't want Chicharitos, you don't want Puig to beat you. You make someone like Grandsir, and unfortunately, Grandsir actually has come through for the Galaxy against LAFC.
My picks are, I'd say, killer picks. I'm going to channel my inner Philly and say for LAFC, it's going to be Chicho Arango. And for the Galaxy, I'll just say really quick, is Dejan Joveljic, because these guys have been able to score against the opposition team prior. These guys are the other team's killers, so I'm not going to read in too much to it.
Joveljic, a guy that's probably going to start on the bench.
Yeah.
He's been so effective off the bench.
He has. The most goals scored by a substitute.
By the way, we'll get to the lineups a little bit later, but there is some news, as we can see from Thickety Wickets.
Oh, and Abed, yes, you're right. Denny is Gabonese, and I just meant they played in the French league.
French-born.
Okay.
French-born.
Okay.
Yes, French-born, but they play in the French league is more what I meant.
Look, great minds think alike, Vince. And with that, I'm going with Ricky Puig only because you should go with Ricky Puig in this situation. He's the straw that stirs the drink, as us Mets fans like to say. He's the one that really gets the engine going for Carson. And at the end of the match, we are going to come right back here to celebrate. And I'm going to say one word, Cowabunga, because it is going to be an absolute coming out party for Denis Bouanga today.
You may need to take a lap after that one.
That's okay. As soon as we're done, I'll take a lap. To me, this is going to be his coming out party. Not 1, but 2 goals. I'm predicting a brace for Denis Bouanga today, and he's going to do all the right
Big
things.
game
Could
Bouanga.
happen.
Number
That
99.
could
It's going to happen. Make the shirts. Big game Bouanga.
I like it. We've already had a player wearing number 99 make history in playoffs for LAFC. We're seeing it again.
Well, you know our picks, so
He
get
had
your
it in his
picks
pocket a while.
in the chat.
Little bit.
Also, get them in on our social medias. Hashtag LAFC players to watch for your chance to win a Giorgio Chiellini signed ball. Let's take a look at it one more time in all its glory. Come on.
Look at that
There it
beautiful
is.
picture.
There it is. So great.
Don't forget,
Giorgio.
hashtag 110 P2W.
Hopefully, it's not the only time we see him today. Sorry.
I know. That we'll
foreshadowing
get to that
the starting
lineup, but yeah,
Let's move on.
Stop.
the news
Let's
is
move on.
out.
Scarf, you really brought it there with your picks, but I'm going to need you to bring it again here because it's one of my favorite times of the show. It's 110 prop bets. And the reason why, if you haven't watched the show, I'm kind of leaning towards Scarf, it's because he teaches the children. And one thing he teaches the children, no, that's not true. He is a teacher and a great teacher at that.
Math.
He teaches them math. And prop bets can kind of help you here, but he also knows a thing or two about gambling.
Yeah, look, the prop bets are the most fun because you get to pick a side. Will something happen or won't it? Will there be 8 of these, 7 of these? It's really fun to be able to make the match a little bit more interesting as you watch along, especially if you think something cool is going to happen like a brace from Denis Bouanga. So what we're going to give you is 4 different prop bets, and we're going to give you our side, and you get to play along with us, tell us what your prop bets are going to be, and we're going to start our prop bets. First player to score in the match, Connor Kalopsis.
Chicho.
Your first player to score.
Easy.
I like
Killer.
it. He's got Chicho Arango. Who do you
Good
have?
hair.
It is easy. It is Chicho. He's due.
Great
right?
minds think alike, man.
But if Bouanga scores 2 and Chicho, I mean, what, Alex is going to score 5? That's not happening. I'm going with Chicho.
could happen.
And
It-
Rich
it
Warren,
happened last time.
We welcome Galaxy fans in here, but we'll get your intel. But no name calling, please.
Look, I absolutely think this could be one of those 3, 4. Last time we played them in the playoffs, we did get a 5 spot on them. So I think the first player to score in this match is going to be Denis Bouanga because, again, I think it's going to be his coming out party. Vince, who do you have?
I have Bouanga as well. I think a lot of us went with value picks to try to
Look at you starting to use that degenerate gambler terminology.
I've been
And
on
remember,
this man well enough.
when LAFC scores first, they win. They win
Yes.
games.
They do.
Yes.
And then we score in the first half, they win games. So if any of that happens, you're going to go to the window in Vegas, collect your winnings, and LAFC will be moving on.
Yep. Here you've got the gambler's way to ask, will there be a penalty or not? It's over under 0.5 penalties taken. Obviously, you can't have a half. So The question is, will there be a penalty today? Vince La Rosa.
So Alan Chapman is the referee, and I can't remember us having him much this season, so I can't slander him at all.
Okay.
But it is the Galaxy, and they have the most penalties earned?
Yep.
I don't know if that's the
Sure.
word you would use. but
Question mark.
They've won.
Most penalties
They've
earned
won.
in MLS, so I'm going to go over.
All right, Vince is going over. Max?
Yeah, this is to me a really smart bet. I'm not a gambling man, but if they give you 0.5, that means one penalty will do the job. LA Galaxy have had 14. That's one almost every two
other
games.
game.
2.5%.
Every other game?
Yeah.
LAFC have had 7. So combined, that's a big total. I think if that's a prop bet you wanted to go, you go with the over.
I feel like it feels like we conversed offline about our picks because I have the same one, Matt.
That's okay.
I like it.
People always feel they have to
Elaborate.
go different. You don't.
See, the way that those casinos get built in Vegas, though, is when everybody goes left, the smart money goes right. I'm going under on the penalties as strictly as a value
I
bet.
hope you're
Why
right.
not?
I hope you're right.
Oh,
Yeah,
you and
I
me
think
both.
everybody hopes you're right.
Absolutely. And look,
Yes, Rich Ward.
if I lose because we get one and we put it in the back of the net, great. But I'd rather lose that bet that way. That's for sure. First free kick taker. This is a fun one. I don't like who I think I chose or I remember choosing on this because I believe I chose Giorgio Chiellini. Well,
Oh,
we'll
no.
see.
Wow.
We'll see how that goes. I don't love that.
That would have been a big winning bet.
It would
Even
have.
more so now when he's not
first-
starting.
Yeah,
Imagine
free
he's not
kicks
starting,
coming
he's
in
still
in the
the
90th
first
minute.
free kick taker.
Wait, we haven't told them that yet, but yeah, Vince.
The chat told them,
Yeah,
so
they-
they're paying attention to that.
Yeah.
These are fun because it's like first throw-in. Who takes the first throw-in? It could be anyone.
Right.
It's just random. I picked Brugman. I felt LAFC is going to get the ball forward. Maybe they foul somebody. Brugman just gets on the ball and passes it.
I
real
like
quick.
it. I like it. Connor,
Same type of thinking, but I have Pooch taking the free kick.
Pooch taking the free kick. Max.
I just saved money and went with Carlos Vela. I mean, this is pretty safe. You figure LAFC is going to have the yeoman share of possession. They're playing at home. They'll get a free kick, and in all likelihood, Carlos Vela will take it. Pretty simple math.
Roberto, it's okay. Because of the national broadcast, the game starts a little bit later than
Little
they
bit later.
say, so
7:25.
Specifically, the exit on Figueroa. So we got to get an
It is
overpass.
horrible, but 7:25, Roberto. So you're good. You'll be good.
And by the way, Rich Ward with his pick, we want to get picks from everyone. Everyone's welcome, whether you're a Galaxy, LAFC
Yeah,
fan,
I mean-
FC Cincinnati, Philadelphia Union.
I'll say he's been a lot more pleasant and polite than most Galaxy fans we have.
I know, so we
absolutely
appreciate
true.
you.
I love what the Galaxy did with those moves. They were savvy, Pooch, and Brugman. That's why they're here in this game.
They wouldn't
did
be fair
well.
if not.
Absolutely. Look, it's MLS After Dark. It's literally dark right now. It's MLS on a Thursday. It's MLS playoff action. Over under 2.5 goals in a rivalry that has consistently proven to provide some fireworks.
We better all have the same answer.
Connor,
Over. Easy.
Max.
I have under because our conversation with Giorgio Chiellini, where he said,
I
"This
saw
is
that.
not
I saw
a
that.
derby. There's one goal in a derby." That's a terrible impression. But I thought with him playing, certainly he's going to make sure it's under. I'm sticking with it. 2.5 is
But
a
is he?
huge number.
But is he playing?
Well, it's not in the starting 11. He's not in the starting 11. I don't know anything beyond that. But we'll
Vince,
talk about the
We'll
whole.
get into the lineup in just a little
But
bit.
Over under.
It's over. I mean, this is wild. I think the craziest thing, and this rivalry has been so crazy, if Max was right and it was like a 1-0 game, and that would only kind of fit only because it's so crazy,
Yeah.
just crazy enough to work. But the smart money says that it's going to be over.
So you need to score 3 goals, which is a good chunky amount.
over. No, combined.
Right, I know. 3
Yeah.
goals in the game.
Yeah.
Oh,
It seems like it's an easy grab, but maybe that's a little trickster move here.
Well, like
From,
you said, the
they're-
house
from
money.
the
They're
House
playing
money.
only to fulfill our prop bets.
There you go. The last time we played here was 3-2.
You know there's going to be
That's
3
fine.
goals. This is easy money. Come get it. 2.5. Take it.
So the way
Have you worked for a casino?
The Golden Nugget back in the day.
I feel like I'm playing tennis back and forth. I like it.
I know this is what you get when you put Max and I on the same panel.
Believe me.
I know.
am
I kind
used
of
to
feel bad
this.
for JR.
The way to make even more money is to put some of these prop bets together, wrap it up in a bow with your scoring prediction for the game, and that is our 110 football parlay for the matches. And so we get to go around and talk about which 2 of these 4 props that we liked the most, and then pair that with our scoring prediction. And I think, Vince, you're going first on the parlay, my friend.
All right, like we told you, Abed, the kickoff's not till 7:25. So if you're still getting here, there's plenty of time to call your bookie.
Relax.
And these are the picks. This is going to be Bouanga, score first, so they go for that one. Over on goals. These are all value picks because then I go with a 3-2 LAFC victory. So obviously by default, the scoreline is going to get us over. And Wallerson knows what I'm talking about.
Wallerson
Ryan,
knows.
who writes for LAFC, so check out his articles.
He's going to be writing about
3-2. That's what I'll be writing about.
I like
exactly
it.
what I said.
I like it. All right.
That's easy money.
Connor, how are we making that money on your parlay today?
It's going to be pretty straightforward. There's going to be a penalty, so over 0.5 penalty.
Wow.
Over 2.5 goals, because that's how these games go. And a nice 4-2 prediction. LAFC in the chat saying, hey, wouldn't it be good for a nice 5-0 prediction again? I agree, but this will happen. Mark my words.
Soccer
We'll
USA,
clip it.
my
Danny, clip
heart
it.
hurts for you. I hope you can get here soon. Just be careful out there.
Oh.
You left at 4:30. You know your guy, Eli, you know what his prediction was?
Why are we even talking about him?
I just want to let you know. He said LAFC 2, Galaxy 4.
Look,
He's got the flip.
if he's right, fair play.
If he is right.
Max,
All right,
your
that's-
parlay, my friend.
Okay, I'm going to stick with these as well. I think that's a smart bet. You go over here. And I went under. I went way under with regards to
Look at that
the
scoring
2.5.
prediction.
I think there's going to be 1 goal in this game, which sounds like absolute folly. But I'm
Yeah.
sticking with it because we've never had a game like that. And the law of averages tells you if it's a derby game, a rivalry game, eventually you're going to get 1-0. Because that's like 85% of rivalry games end up in that scoreline. So
not
why
wrong.
not us? We can't keep
Yeah,
blocking that.
not 85% of LAFC Carson matches.
But I
that's for sure.
unfortunately feel really good about the penalty. I don't know who's going to win it, but I feel good about it.
Well,
even
look,
though I have 1 goal.
I like the controversy.
I personally didn't think there was a lot of value in either my scoreline or the over 2.5 goals because I think that's easy money, and my scoreline being 3-2 LAFC. So where I added the value is by sticking that under 0.5 penalties. I do not think there's going to be a penalty in this
Yeah,
match.
I
So
hope you're
wrap all
right.
those up
I'll eat
together,
my money.
and that's my parlay for the match. So look, if you want to play along with us, wrap up your own parlay. Let us know how you do. Let us know how badly we do on these. It's a lot of fun to play along with us with these kind of things.
I really wish someone had kept track of all our parlays through the year and said like fake money, funny money, how much
Sure.
we won. But that would be a lot of
Probably
work.
very
Something for next
Maybe
season.
next season, guys. As you know that we're going to do this another season come along.
Hey,
so.
David, thank you. Could you like the video? Could you like 115 of you all like this stream right now?
Yeah, get at it. Get at it. Well, guys, we're getting closer to when we're going to hand off to the pregame that's on FS1. And when we get closer, we get a little more serious.
Yep.
Starting lineup is coming soon for those of you that are waiting along for that. But what we're going to do right here is called Shoot Your Shot. Shoot Your Shot is basically Steve Cherundolo walks into that dressing room after they've warmed up and said, guys, one last thing I got to tell you before you go out there. And that's
Yeah.
what we do here. And Scarf, you were up first. What would you be telling the guys right before they go out?
Look, it's very simple. We need to keep our head, keep our composure for 90-plus minutes. We know that players on that other side wearing the Herbalife sash are going to try to poke us, prod us, goad us, try and complain
There's
to
gonna
the
be a goat
refs.
on the field?
There might be.
Herbalife.
They're going to do everything they can to get under LAFC's skin. Why? Because it's worked before this season. Players like Chicharito, players like Ricky Puig, players like Brugman, players like Caceres. We need to understand that over the course of 34 matches, we have earned the right not just to host this, but to hoist trophies here at the end of the season.
Yeah.
So we need to keep our head
That's
for
right.
90 minutes. Do not fall into the
Preach.
trap that Carson is luring for us. Let's send them back down 11, 12, 13 miles. It's a sad bus ride home for Carson if we keep our head for 90 minutes.
Strong. Connor Kalopsis,
Very good.
you're up
Very
next.
good.
In your young 19 years of wisdom, bring it.
There's not a lot of years of wisdom in there, but I'll give it a go. My shot, you know, this is in the context of this is the first step towards MLS Cup, right? What can we do to get past this first game? And in doing that, it's scoring the first goal. Score first, score early, get in there. Don't let the Galaxy get a sniff, not just at goal, but at a result here. Score that first early goal and be able to control the narrative of the game. Too many times we've not been able to finish early on, and the Galaxy's gotten a goal and has been able to control not just our mentality, but the narrative. So I want to see LAFC get in there and get the job done as early as possible and as convincing as possible. And don't even let these Galaxy fans think they're in it for a second.
Wow.
Steve.
And as Max Bretos has pointed out,
You hit the landing there.
Well, and he-
Congratulations, Soccer USA's here. You got time.
I made it.
There we
well,
go.
as you pointed out, when we score first, LAFC normally good things
Win.
happen. So that's a good one. Max, you were up next. What do you got?
This LAFC team, we had maybe the best season in goalkeeping. You had a defensive group that came together. It doesn't give a lot of chances with some high-profile names that are all going to be doing great things. Giorgio Chiellini already has. We have this front three that's continuing evolving when you include the newcomers like Teo and Bale and Bouanga. The midfield's always been kind of on the back burner, but that's not going to be the case today. And part of it is the space that will be afforded for LAFC if they want it. Ricky Puig is the modern-day version of Carlos Valderrama in the sense, bear with me, it's not because the hair.
It's a big one.
Not the hair.
Very talented, creative midfielder who gets to go. He says, here's your license. Don't worry about defending. Don't worry about marking. You're going to do that. No one at LAFC is allowed the same license. So Ricky Puig is that. That's why they bought in Gaston Brugman, so he can cover. Steve Ralston was the Brugman for Valderrama. I think I confused that a little bit, but I think you get the gist of it. It is a defensive play. Ricky Puig is going to go, and Brugman's going to have to follow. That's going to be very hard. So you disrupt that combination where I think LAFC will. Ilie Sanchez getting the ball, Jose Cifuentes entering that space. That's going to open the door for all the success. If they get that midfield play, if they get in those channels, LAFC is going to win this game without question. So look for that early on if they're able to establish between Puig in front of Brugman, route one.
All right, I'm up next. And guys, there's probably more than a couple reasons why I'm sitting here and I'm not out there, but here's one of them. I'm nervous. I'm very nervous. But what I'm going to say to these LAFC players is this: don't be nervous. Play with personality. Go out there. You've been picked for a reason. You've been chosen not to be a robot, not to just do what Steve Cherundolo says. You've been chosen because you can figure out the game. You can play with your personality, and that's what I'm going to tell you right here. Play with your personality. Things are going to go wrong, but it's how you step up from that. Maybe it's just a minor thing. You give a ball away, that's fine. Move on. Get to the next play. Get through everything and go out there and show some flair, show some style. So I can't play out there, but I came here with some style by what I'm wearing. But that's what I'm saying. Bring the personality, because that's who you are. That's the game that LAFC plays. I feel like when they play poorly against the Galaxy, it's when they go into a shell, they start thinking too much. No, you're here for a reason. Bring that personality. As Scarf said, there's a reason why the game is here at Bank California Stadium and not at Dignity Health Sports Park. So play like you mean it. Play like your Supporters Shield champions, and I think you'll do well in this match.
Well, we've given our inspirational message that we would give to the players. Let's see who those players are going to be. Here
Some surprises.
is your starting 11 as we make our playoff trek forward. No surprise on the back line. Maxime.
No surprise.
What do you mean?
You mean in
No,
goal?
in
Oh my
goal.
God.
No
Okay.
surprise
The
in
back
goal.
line means the defense.
Sorry, yes, you're right.
Start
No
flipping
surprise in goal,
chairs.
Maxime Crepeau. Slight surprise on the back line.
Yeah.
Slight is
Not
a
for
loose
Ryan
term, I guess.
Hollingshead, not Jesus David Murillo, not Chiqui Palacios, but we've got the return of Steady Eddie in the playoffs with no Giorgio Chiellini in the starting 11. He is in the 18.
He's available.
That is something that we're going to talk about after we go through the rest of this lineup. Sifu, Ilie, and Acosta, Vela, Chicho, and Denny Bouanga. I think everything played according to plan except for the return of Steady Eddie on the back line. Obviously, plenty of talent in the 18, but
Max and I did a whole topic on who's going to partner Giorgio Chiellini in the starting 11.
right.
So it shows you what we know.
Marilini, it was
Nothing.
Who's it going to be? So now we know it's Murray Segura on the back line,
Which is a good combination.
What do we think?
Yeah,
What do we think?
It's a really good
That's the thing,
combination.
that's
I don't
the
think they
thing.
missed a beat in training with those
Sure.
two guys going there.
I disagree. When was the last time they paired together? It was that Austin game.
Well, Eddie had been hurt for a long time, but they're both Colombianos. They both
Don't
speak
put
the
that
same
into the
language.
atmosphere.
I'm just
They know each other well from prior games.
Someone's gotta
We're so
say it.
surprised because we're talking about a European champion. We're talking about Giorgio Chiellini, but
If you guys,
Well, he's on the bench, and I will say this. We look at that 11, it's a fantastic 11.
Yes.
Obviously,
Yeah,
Gareth
don't
Bale's
discredit.
name is not
Don't
there.
discredit.
We hope to see him later in the postseason if LAFC get here. But you have that bench with a lot of pop. You have help defensively if you need it. You have help in the midfield. You have help in the attack. This is... You got to, obviously it's a little disappointing, maybe not the pieces falling into place, but that is that's a game-winning 11 and a game-winning bench.
Let's not forget, before his injury, Eddie Segura was a best 11 caliber center back in Major League Soccer.
A top
Some
three
were saying
defender
he
of the
was
year.
the best center
Absolutely.
back in the league.
And I think
Some were
we're going to
saying.
see that he hasn't lost a step. Not only that, he's gained even more confidence learning under the tutelage of the Yoda that is Giorgio Chiellini for the last couple months
well,
of the
here's
season.
something quick. Galaxy, would they take a Murray Segura starting if they could have it?
Absolutely.
Tells you a lot.
Absolutely.
let's just hope that the conversation post-game is that Steve Cherundolo made a very, very good decision in starting those two together. But
Look, we've talked about this start time being pushed back a little bit, 7:25 start time. It is a national game. Fox Sports 1 and Fox Deportes, make sure you are checking it out. If you can't be some of the 22,000 of the black and gold faithful filling Bank of California Stadium, please make sure you're tuning in on Fox Sports 1 and Fox Deportes.
Yes, we're very excited about it. Where are we going here?
Tell us they're going to be here for the
We're gonna be
postgame.
back.
The post game. He said that already, but we're gonna be here for the post game. Stick around and hear my name on there. We're gonna be here for the post game. So whenever it's over, we'll be in
slow
these
down.
seats. Hopefully, if you're in the stadium and you're listening, just join us here in the back.
Right
and we'll
here.
be
And
able
we'll
to
be
go.
celebrating.
Right
Let's go.
here.
Do I have- putting it into
If it
the-
doesn't go well, do I have to be here?
Yes.
You have to
do.
be here.
Yes,
And
you
we'll
are
cry with you
contractually
if it doesn't
obligated.
go our way.
Contractually,
You're
they're
gonna
paying
win.
me.
Come here. You don't want to leave right after the game.
These guys are ready.
FTG.
ready.
FTG.
Hi, Mom.
He brought his red cup and everything.
Can't wait.